Hello everybody. So today I am going to demonstrate how to draw a head. What are the basic proportions of the human head? And the first thing that you need to know is that a head fits inside a box. And it's going to have a front and it's going to have a side and it's going to have a top, obviously. And so the side, that's where the ears are, and the front is where the face is. And because of linear perspective, we are not going to divide it down the center. We're going to make it a little bit closer to the far side and a little bit further away from this closer side. And the easiest way to draw the head is in 3/4 view. So if we were drawing a box, we'd be drawing it from the corner. It is very difficult to draw a head full frontal because we're not seeing any of the sides. And so it's very, very difficult to create the illusion of a three-dimensional head if you're only seeing one side. And equally difficult is to draw the face in full profile because, again, we're only seeing one side. So the easiest thing here would be the ear. The easiest thing is to draw it so that we're seeing both this side and part of the front. And we will then we'll be looking at two sides of the head, and we will be able to describe it in three-dimensional. We will be able to create the illusion of a three-dimensional head. The things that I'm just going to draw it a little bit bigger here. The eyes are going to be near the center, but a little bit above center. And here we go. This might be the bridge of the nose. And I use it as an anchor point. So here's what you need to know about the nose. It sticks out like the sail on a ship. And if the person is looking pretty much in that direction, then we're going to see a lot of the nose sticking out. But as the person's head turns around towards the front, we're going to see more of the other side of the face, and the nose is going to stick out only by a little bit. And again, we're just going to rotate it a little bit more. Now we're going to see more of that eye, and the nose is just going to stick out just a tiny bit. And if we were looking at the face full frontal, well, actually we're not even going to go full frontal yet. This is still 3/4. So, but the nose might be completely inside the side of the face. And this is what you want to look for, is the bridge of the nose. Where does it clip the eye? Does it clip the tear duct off? Is it clipping it here? How much of the eye can you see? So I'm going to say that it's clipping a little bit. and the eyes are almond shape. And what you need to know about the eyes are that we have one eye. If we were looking at the face full frontal, the eyes are almond shaped. We have one eye, and then the distance of an eye, and then we have the other eye. But because, and so it's 1, 2, 3. But because we're looking at the face in 2-point perspective, this eye is going to be a little bit larger than then this space is going to be a little bit smaller, and that eye is going to be a little bit smaller. So it still goes 1, 2, 3, but they're not exactly the same sizes. Okay, and I'm actually drawing this a little bit smaller than the box. So I'm going to erase that. I'm not used to drawing so small. So I have to draw small to fit the drawing inside the video camera. Okay, then we're going to leave a space here because for the nose, you need space for the bridge of the nose and then the front of the nose. So let's say that this is the front of the nose and this is the side of the nose. So you need space for the side of the nose over here. Okay, and then we're going to draw the other eye. And I see this done in several different ways, but the eye has a tear duct, and sometimes I see the tear duct drawn directly, along a horizontal line. Sometimes I see it drawn down a little bit, and I imagine that there are just so many faces in this world that there's probably going to be a face with one that looks like this and one that looks like that. I just always make it go down a little ways. And then, as we continue on the subject of the eyes, we're going to add the irises, but you're not going to add the irises fully in the round because that would be a very surprised looking face. It turns out that the eyes, what we think of as eyes, are actually part of an eyeball. And then there's an upper lid and a lower lid. And the upper lid travels up and down so it can shut or close. The lower lid stays still. But the lids, these flaps of skin, are covering this eyeball. And so normally we're only going to see a part of the iris because the eyelid is blocking the top and clipping part of the bottom. Again, if you draw the eyeball, if you draw the whole iris, you will create a person with a very surprised look on your face, because look at yourself in the mirror, and in order to show your full iris, you really have to open your eyes extraordinarily wide. And then typically we're going to shade it just the way we would shade a sphere. Okay, so there we go. And the last little thing that I'm going to tell you, because it's an interesting little bit of trivia, is that when we're looking at a person's head, a lot of the times we can actually see like a little shelf right there at the bottom of the eye. And because the skin has a thickness to it. And we don't normally see that thickness of the upper lid, but we see it on the bottom lid. And then I guess if you wanted to learn the last thing about the eye would be eyelashes, which it's important not to go like that. They actually kind of clip in a little bit and make this line not be so this line is not going to be like this. It's going to be cut in and out and be irregular. Okay, when I get to the nose, I actually find it easier to add some value. I'm going to erase this line here. So I'm going to add some skin tone here. And then I'm going to erase the bridge of the nose. And you see how automatically I am establishing the bridge of the nose and the side of the nose. And then here, you can go like this. Underneath the nose, there's two little lines, and then we get the lips. And the general rule is that if you were to drop a line down from the center of the eyes, you would that's where the edges of the lips are. And the lips are going to follow the same rule as the eyeballs. If you look at a lips full frontal, they're going to be from the center even in one side and the other. But we're looking at the lips in perspective. So again, the side that is further away from you is going to be shorter than the side that is closer to you. And it's difficult to be able to tell what size the far side of the lip should be and what size the front side of the lip should be, the close side of the lip should be. But if you just follow this rule of dropping a line near the center, you're going to be okay. Then the middle of the lips is actually easier to just draw the line. So I don't draw the upper lip and I don't draw the lower lip. I actually get the upper lip and then draw a line. And you want that line to have quality to it because the lips are muscular and they're pressing against each other, and they're going to press harder, softer, harder, the middle softer. So you want to make sure that that line has quality to it. And then the lower lip, I actually indicate it with a little line like that. Now, here's what I've been just drawing the main features of the face, which are the eyes, the nose, and the lips. But let's put them together on the face, on the cranium. It turns out that underneath all of these features, sometimes we have bone, sometimes we have flesh, soft flesh like the eyeball or like the tip of the nose. And sometimes we have cartilage like underneath the bridge of the nose, and then very, very soft flesh underneath the lips. And right here is what I call an undercut. If we were mountain climbers, you know, or rock climbers, you climb up the rock, and that's not so difficult, right? But when it comes here, oh my gosh, that is difficult. This is the undercut. So the brows right above the eyeball are undercut, and right above are the eyebrows. And the eyebrows are going to be on top of bone. And they are literally the brow bone, and they protect our eyeballs from getting hurt. And many times, think how many times maybe you haven't poked your eyes out because your eyebrow has received the blow. So your eyeball has been protected. So underneath the eyebrow is bone, then we have an undercut. And then we have an undercut. The upper lip is an undercut. And it turns out that the lower lip sticks out. And if you watch tennis players, they're always putting zinc white stuff, goop, on their bottom lips to protect it from the sun, because the sun is not going to be hitting the upper lip because it's in the shade. The sun is going to be hitting the upper lip, the lower lip, which is sticking out. So instead of it going from upper lip to lower lip, I actually go right here where there's another little undercut directly underneath the lower lip. And then you get the chin. And now I can, if I want, with a line or shading, I can add the lower lip. Notice that I am adding the face around the features. I see a lot of instructions where they say, oh, draw an egg, then draw a line for the eyes and a line for the mouth and a line for the nose. But then you have to fit the features inside the egg. And I find it easier to draw using the place where the nose clips the eye that's furthest away, use that as an anchor point, and then decide how much of the face can we see. And this nose maybe sticks out a little bit more. Okay. Now we're going to go to the other side. This is where sometimes people make a mistake because they will draw it to right here, but you need to give enough space to get to go around the box. Okay, and we're going to get to that place where the jaw, which is the only movable part of the cranium, where the jaw meets the skull, and it turns out that that is going to be also where the bottom of your earlobe connects. And it turns out that the ear and the nose are about the same size. The ear and the nose are about the same size, but the ear is going to be a little bit higher and the nose is going to be a little bit lower because this is along a curve. So I've probably drawn the ear a little bit too low. Okay, then we want to make sure that you get enough cranium. And there's hair. And I'd like to indicate hair. By pressing harder where it is closer to the cranium. And usually, you know, people might have a little part, or there's a little place where the hair seems to be coming out. And it's very common for people to draw the face and then start right here with the hair. And they're literally giving the person a lobotomy. So you want to give enough cranium. And the nice thing about drawing the hair last is that if you need more cranium, all you do is add it. And it's a good idea when you're drawing heads not to start too close to the top of your page, so that if you do need to add cranium, you have a few extra inches on the top. And remember that the tendency is going to be to not create enough cranium, so you want the extra space above in order to be able to occupy it. And then here's what we want to know. We want to obviously connect. We want to connect the head to the body. And so we're going to have neck. We're going to have closest to us is going to be the chin. and then comes the neck, and then the back of the neck is there has to be a distance between the jawline and the back of the neck, and then the cranium is back there. It's behind the neck. So it goes 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There's overlap, and you want to take advantage of the overlap. In order to create the illusion of space. And there you are, your basic head. And I probably shouldn't have put that straight in the middle. I don't like that. Let's put it right there.